to the Amazon EU Masters. We're getting ready to go into our 5th game of the day. This is Zero Tenacity from the EBL, taking on Illuminar from the Ultraliga. I get my supers, my ultras all muddled up at times, but this is obviously two teams who unfortunately have been locked out of the playoffs. But, you know, playing for a little bit of pride here, Illuminar got, quite frankly, stomped. And Z10 have spent the entire group stages getting stomped on. So it'd be nice to see, you know, maybe Z10 find their first win of the tournament. But Z10, honestly, they put up more of a fight versus Fnatic than Illuminar just put up versus Big. Let's be real here.
I was about to say, I feel like teams like Zero Tenacity and others we've had in the tournament, and we talk about this all the darn time. We're like, EU Masters just seems to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and because a lot of teams from the smaller regions don't get the same amount of competitiveness from their official games, such as the Prime League does, such as the LFL does, the Superliga does, where they have like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 teams that are super competitive and they all could make it to EU Masters. And the games got down to the wire and they're just so tense. Coming here and having to face teams like Big, that on paper they're meant to take it all together with maybe Misfits and Common Corp, is just such a huge task to ask for. And I feel like Zero Tenacity was almost on the verge of beating these big teams in a lot of their games. And I know that the 0-5 record doesn't give them a lot of credit, but I feel like teams coming this far, even when they go 0-6, I feel like they should be proud of themselves for even making it to EU Masters, playing against these competitors and knowing that they could come back stronger next season.
This is a hard group. I mean, there's no doubt in that. I mean, to be fair,
every single one of them, yeah.
Every group's actually been relatively hard, but this is a hard group. You've got, you know, teams with fairly large expectations behind them. 3 regions that historically have done pretty good. I mean, the NLC was 2nd seed during the whole tournament last time around with XL. So, you know, it's you're playing versus Fnatic, you're playing versus Illuminar, you're playing versus Big. You know, these are incredibly storied organizations here in the ERLs, and, you know, in some cases outside of the ERLs in Fnatic's case, but, you know, and the fact that they've been able to go toe-to-toe with these teams and honestly punch back, I think you're completely correct. I genuinely think Zero Tenacity could have won any one of their games, and it's these small things, and they'll take those small things back to their regional leagues and hopefully come back stronger next time around. But we're into the picks and bans. We've got the Nidalee, we got the Aurelia band away. I don't want to give Chris the Nidalee this time, so see what the next ban is going to be here for Z10. I wonder if we see a bit of emphasis on this Kennen, because, you know, it's been pretty effective so far. It was banned away by Illuminar last game.
I just want to reiterate that there's no stakes in this game at all. So if you see crazy picks, if you see the teams running it down for fun, this game has absolutely no stakes. They will not be influencing any other team's results, neither their own. Both teams have officially been knocked out of quarterfinals, so no matter what they do, they can't influence anyone else. They can't influence the way that they're going to finish in this group either. So if you see a bit of banter, if you see a bit of fun, this is all in good nature and all in there was no negative gaming had that day, basically. And I was expecting something like a TSM XD in the bans, but the bans are pretty serious so far.
I was actually figuring out you could spell Z10 in the
You
bans.
could?
Well, they've actually got, if they put an Orianna as their first ban, you could have Ziggs, Aurelia, Orianna. I know it's technically an I instead of a 1, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, looks like we might see a first pick topside. It's going to be a bit of a Mumma special, actually, here. So he locks in the Camille. Now over to Illuminar, seeing what they're going to look to lock in for themselves. Potentially look for some, maybe a little bit fun in the top side. They're hovering it. We'll see. Obviously, Z10 would like to leave with at least 1 win under their belt, and Illuminar probably want to end on a high. So taking the Lee Sin and the Thresh, we kind of predicted a bit of a clown fiesta. So far, it's actually pretty standard stuff coming in.
Yeah, and I just want to see, I was expecting to see, you know, a bit more fun champions, but these might come on the second rotation coming into this game. The teams want to secure, obviously, like a very strong core. The Lee Thresh rotation is extremely strong. You can play whatever mage you choose in the middle. You've got the LeBlancs, the Syndras, the Orianas, anything you want is up for grabs. The Twisted Fate as well would work wonders with a champion such as the Camille. Nautilus is a champion we don't necessarily see too much, especially in the first side of rotation, because he's not one of the strongest, but they want to make sure that they have a rock solid bot lane. Now, of course, the Seraphine could be flexed anywhere in the middle or in the bot, so we'll have to wait and see. And the Fiora is a pretty good counter matchup into the Camille top side.
It's been a little while since you've seen the Fiora show its head.
Maybe Hullbreaker? Maybe Hullbreaker?
I mean, it could be a double Hullbreaker game. Yeah. We can see Mummers and LeQu run the Hullbreaker. We've seen the Viego getting banned away here. I'm curious to see where that Seraphine goes as well, because it is technically flexible between the mid and the bot side.
Probably Trundle too from the side of Illumina, just to get it off of the hands of Ryuzaki. Provides really strong ganks as well. Together with the Nautilus, this is going to be really rough to get away from. If you put a pillar up, then the anchor, the 3-meter long anchor, is most likely going to hit.
Absolutely. Well, there's the Varus banned away from the side of Z10. Illuminar now looking for their next ban. See what they're going to turn their attention to. Their eyes too is running the clock down a little bit here. They go for the Gragas actually, and a bit of an interesting one because Gragas actually does okay into things like the Camille because you're not got out of her ultimate. But even so, they're going to go for the Conqueror. That's the final ban here from Z10 and ZAMULEK. Now hovering a potential pick, but you know, we don't talk hovers, but it's one of those games where you're like, come on.
It has to be one of the two. It has to be one of the two.
Give us something spicy, right? And I mean, you've got the Thresh, so you can enable something a little bit more exciting.
Or the Aphelios.
We're going to go for the Aphelios. There you go.
Absolutely, it has to be. You've got so much late game potential with that. You see the Seraphine on the other hand and the Camille. You know they're going to have a lot of survivability, so you need to match it with a lot of scaling in the later stages of the game. Now, of course, we talked about the Trundle and it went through, and Ryuzaki has been favoring that champion. He does really well ganking lanes, especially making sure that you set the Fiora behind and she doesn't snowball together with the Listen on the top side. I think it's going to be a priority for the set of Tenacity, especially since they've locked in the Seraphine for the bot side of the map.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Come on, that's not fun. That's not fun.
I mean, Z10 want to win.
That's not fun.
I don't blame them. They're 0-5. You don't want to return empty-handed. You want to go, look, we beat Illuminar. We beat the second seed from the Ultra League.
Nah, man, nah. So, yeah, Z, that's not fun. That's not fun. Come on. There's like Syndras are still in, LeBlancs are still in, even Oriana is still in. But like, you giving me the Azir, mate? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they want to win. I actually genuinely don't blame them. As much as me and you want a Clown Fiesta,
we do.
I think.
There we go.
There we go. That's a little bit more. You know what? Of all the fun picks, this is the most unfun pick. He's just gonna stand under his tower and clear waves.
True, but later on in the fight, when he presses ultimate, he kills everyone. It's gonna be pretty fun.
When he has that Horizons focus finished up and he starts the right of the arcane raining down on to the side of Z10. But yeah, we have our comps locked in, and you know, all in all, there's a little bit of spice sprinkled on top, but it's somewhat standard, I would say. You know, you do have a Fiora, you do have a Xerath, so yeah, bit of wiggle room in standard, a little bit of a loose definition of it, but mostly, you know, pretty standard team comps here. So it looks like both these teams still playing this pretty seriously. Both want to end on a high note here at the end of the Group C, because after that loss, Illuminar obviously were knocked out of any contention to make it into the playoffs. Big did a great job of shutting them down to Trouble. Talk to me about this team comps. What are we expecting coming into this one?
Well, honestly, I feel like all right, so I really like what Tenacity are trying to do. When you've got a Seraphine and a bunch of melee champions later on in the game, I'm talking much later on in the game, 2 items, 3 items, Seraphine, no one dies. Your melees are allowed to go in, you bounce people up, then you throw the ultimate down, the Seraphine ultimate down, you heal them, you keep them shielded, you keep them safe, you slow your opponents. It's just a walk in the park for melees like Trundle, Camille, Nautilus to go in and get the job done for you while you're keeping them safe and providing some more damage together with the Azir. And also, if someone reaches the backline, you've got the Azir ultimate to dissuade the situation. Fair enough. But Zero Tenacity have continuously chosen champions that scale much further into the game. They've chosen the Seraphine twice, they've chosen the Kassadin once, if I'm not wrong as well, and they've been trying to find fights very early on to the point where they dig their own hole, and then it's really hard to turtle and scale it into the late game where they're extremely strong. They've tried once, they've almost made it, but they failed. So I think the key situation here is that Ryuzaki tries to camp for top lane, get Mumu's ahead, get Mumu's huge, and then later on 2-item Seraphine, you just bundle up together with that Camille and you're just unbreakable. On the other side from Illumina, I see a lot of late game scaling. You've got so much peel coming for your Aphelios with Thresh and with the Xerath, and of course with the Lee Sin kicks, and so much playmaking potential. And I feel that's what Illuminar have shined in, making sure that Chris can playmake for the team. He couldn't do it on the Nidalee, possibly here with the Lee Sin, he's gonna have to pull through.
Well, laning phase has started up, and is Z10 actually get themselves a little bit of priority here? Do you get obviously the extra little bit of damage from the double Q from Mihai? And level 2's been hit first from Meight in the mid lane, although again, I feel like mid, two very long range champions, it's pretty hard to gank Meight just because he has the extra mobility as well. And Escik eventually will just be able to one-shot the waves from a pretty solid range, so I get a little bit hard here as Escik is going to take himself a fair amount of damage actually from Meight in response.
The thing is here that Escik is going to be able to push continuously the wave, especially after Lost Chapter, and he's going to be able to do that without necessarily having to take a toll on his HP pool because he can play from so far away. Something that the Trundle is really good at doing though is ganking immobile champions and grabbing their summoner spells, and that means that Escik, if he uses his flash here, he won't be able to walk anymore into this river and assist Chris. So this is an issue right now because Xerath is a champion that wants to continuously be pressuring the lane, pushing the lane down, but you can't overextend because the repeat gank is going to come in, and you see how both his support and his jungler are coming to his aid, so he can make sure to shove in that wave.
They're actually bolting over towards Ryuzaki, who's waiting for this crab to spawn, and is going to use his smite nice and early. So if Chris can get here in time, he can look to steal this one away. He's got the kick, but he can't quite get close enough. Has got the backup of his team, but Ryuzaki should be able to get away in time. Nice little pillar just to scare Chris off.
That was
Chris can take the wolves.
That was a nice reply from Illuminar right there to roam the support towards the top side of the map to completely shut down Ryuzaki. But what Ryuzaki can do right now is send his bot lane to the bot lane Scuttle Crab and make sure that this gets warded and this gets secured. Mihai is going to have teleport to teleport back into the lane, which means that see, the Nautilus is already there, making sure that the Scuttle Crab is up and available, but Mihai, I think it's better if he saves his teleport for now. It's fine, you secure the top Scuttle Crab. If you're Zero Tenacity, you'll be happy with that.
Absolutely. It's Crab secured by Chris. Heads back into his jungle to farm up, and Ryuzaki maybe looking for a repeat gank in the mid lane. Remember, he still has his flash, and Essik's actually out of mana and out of flash. He can't do anything other than stun Meight. He just shuffles forwards. First blood to Zero Tenacity.
And it all goes great for Zero Tenacity. We mentioned how it's going to be so important for Escik to have his flash up and available. Trundle took it very early, which means that when the Xerath tries to push without any help from other lanes, it's going to be really rough. Now, of course, again, Charm has made his way through the mid. Beautiful.
No, hooks of plenty are breaking down. This Charm finds himself the kill. Chris, is he going to take it? His mind is telling him yes! And he gets the lantern to safety! No, he doesn't! The hook! The tower shot is just big! Another hook does come down. Well, he just lands on the Charm. Nautilus, he's a bit crazy. And Charm goes, you know what, I'm out of here.
I mean, the design of this champion is clearly a whole different beast, but Escik is in trouble again.
No, he's not.
He's not, okay. So, Zero Tenacity overstay their welcome a little bit. You see that Meight doesn't have any mana, so he can't participate in this fight. And once Escik TP's back into the lane, the wave is at a really great state for them. They manage to dive, they kill the Azir, and they get out almost scar-free because the kill does end up going to Nautilus. I don't know what this anchor was about, but Charm ends up getting away with his life, only has to flash away. All in all, this is going to be a trade benefiting the Xerath, but LeQu
Oh, that was so well played by Mumus, holding that as long as possible. Chris comes in with the shielding, and now Chris, he's in Danger Town. Or is it Ryuzaki who's in Danger Town? The flash forward! How the hell did he get away? Mumus looking for the lockdown. LeQu turns it around. It's a 1-for-1 in the top lane. This game's bonkers.
Angry B is exactly how these two teams are playing right now. It's literally punch over punch. And both Mumus and Ryuzaki played this so well around Chris, Escik.
Oh, man. I mean, you're dead, friend. One last stand, Soldier should seal the deal. Any moment now. There we go. Meight finds himself the kill.
Wow, 7 kills in 6 minutes. Let's go. Oh, there's more. Oh, Charm.
There's going to be more.
Oh, Charm.
Trouble. You're just casting cursing them here at this point. And it looks like Charm's actually able to get away as Chris is coming in. ZAMULEK's flashed over the wall, and that is one dead scuba diver.
Is he a scuba diver in that skin?
Well, I mean, he thematically is.
Thematically, yeah. True.
I mean, what else would he be?
I know, shit.
And this is World Ender.
Thank you so much, observers, for the zoom. What is he exactly?
If he's not a scuba diver, what is that?
That's a big anchor. He could be potentially a yacht owner.
All right, I don't own a yacht. I don't really hang out with yacht owners, but most yacht owners don't walk around with their
anchors
anchor on their shoulder, because typically that's the best way to lose your yacht if you don't anchor it.
Very true. Very true. Back into the game. Of course, guys, again, I want to reiterate the stakes here. There are no stakes. Both of these teams have been knocked out of quarterfinals. Whatever the result of this game is, it does not matter for them or any other team. Whatever the result is not going to influence any of the other teams. Fnatic Rising have locked in, Big have locked in, and their seed is only going to be influenced by the next game, which is going to be Fnatic Rising versus Big. So these two teams are basically playing for pride right here, and they're having fun alongside that.
Regional pride.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Exactly.
And for the EBL, they are the only representative of the EBL in this tournament. So, you know, not finding a win would be incredibly rough. Does look like Charm gonna land himself a nice little hook there. There's the right of the arcane, bringing the pain down. Wojtus can take a whole bunch of damage as Chris secures a double kill.
Wow. Charm has literally been everywhere. He's been in 5 out of 6 kills for Illumina, and honestly, if I was meight, I'd probably be typing in all chat, can I please stop playing against 3 players since minute 1, please. Give me that 1v1, because Chris has been all around mid lane, Charm has been all around mid lane, and now they're going to be grabbing both the neutral objectives for the side of Illumina, both the Dragon and the Rift Herald. And we've talked about this before, how Tenacity like to fight before the time that it's right with the Seraphine.
Oh, hold on.
ZAMULEK, that's the wrong way around, mate.
Oh, that is the wrong way around. He is on guard. He's dropped back to the fountain. Mihai with the kill.
Wojtus played that so well as well to hide into Fog of War. But again, here, they see them walk in. And Tenacity know that there's a pink ward over there, yet they still walk through that. They thought that because Ryuzaki's around, it was going to be safe for them, and they end up giving a double kill to Chris's Lee Sin. And now, even though he's nearly fell so far behind the previous game and wasn't able to do much, he has just purchased his gold drink, and 9 minutes into the game, the full-on item, he is experience ahead onto the Trundle, a whole level, and he also has a bunch more CS and gold into his pocket. So this Lee Sin is technically a big playmaker, and the scuba diver, whatever you called him, might be going down.
I think he's swimming with the fishes at this point. ZAMULEK able to get some revenge from that previous little play, and that was really well timed because Mihai actually had reset at the second the hook hit, so wasn't able to back up his support. Didn't really have too much he could do. He was quite far ways away from Wojtus, and this might just give it a plate or 2 over to ZAMULEK as Charm slips back into that fog of war.
And remember, if you look at Chris, he's I thought he was sprinting it down to open the Rift Herald right there, but he doesn't necessarily have to, because the threat of not knowing where the Lee Sin is doesn't allow Mihai and Wojtus to walk anywhere near that tower, which means they're getting deprived of farm, and very importantly, they're getting deprived of experience onto that Seraphine, who you want to get these levels, and you want her to scale into the later stages of the game as fast as possible. Chris?
Oh, what a kick! Meight tries to shuffle away, gets the ult off too early. Chris is on a killing spree.
Okay, that was beautiful stuff by Chris. The wall jump into the kick, into the patience from LeQu until Meight had used his ultimate right there. Good stuff. They can also get the tower down low enough, pop the Rift Herald, get some more money into that Xerath's pocket, grab that Luden straight into Horizon, and then start chipping away at this HP bars before the Seraphine is big enough to heal it back up.
Teleporting in people as well. Is this just going to be Meight to defend the last of his tower? A whole bunch of plates given over to ZAMULEK as well. And we're going to have a look at Chris. This is just a really nice Wardhop kick.
That was really well played. He was just casually doing his wraiths right there. Then he sees the opportunity, and that was so well played. He kind of locked himself up with that ultimate as well, because he had very little space to walk around while Escik was ulting right there. So I think it was death, no matter where you look. No matter how and where you look at it from.
Pretty thematic bot lane, actually, when you think about it. You got underwater Thresh.
True.
I don't know, deep sea Thresh, I think that's the name. Although, Wojtus is using World Under, so, you know, whatever. Get your synergies right, guys. Discuss with the opponents what skin you want to run. Anyway, 12 minutes into the game. Yeah, just go to all chat and be like, yo, I'm running a blue skin this game. Can you guys run blue skins?
It'd be cool if it could run like blue and red.
Yeah. I mean, bot lane, hold on. Bot lane actually might be on point for that one.
No, they're not. Seraphine is pink. Seraphine has pink hair.
She's kind of blue. Wow, she's kind of low health, actually.
Oh god, and then there's more happening in the top lane.
Momus, he can dodge away, he has the ultimate, he's caught out by the grand challenge, he flashes away to safety. LeQ's taking tower shots as he flashes in, gets himself the proc, and now Ryuzaki gonna steal some stats as LeQ getting slowly but surely chopped away. But Chris coming in, looking to try and save the day, is now Chris is in for a whole bunch of trouble. Mihai secures the kill, the encore goes a little bit wide, and the right of the arcane. Holy moly, that does a lot of damage. Meight on the flank though, looking for Chris, looking for that shutdown. We'll spot him out as he jumps in.
What?
Fails that shuffle, and Chris will lose his life. No, wait, the shield's beautiful.
Oh my god, there's
the
more!
hook is also pretty good. This action won't stop, baby. Escik goes down as Ryuzaki secures the kill. I thought that was going to be way slower than it was.
I'm just absolutely loving this. They've drafted Azir, Seraphines, Aphelios, Fioras, some that technically wants to fight later on in the stages of the game, but Fiora's back in, like he was flanking 3 people.
Why did he just teleports back in, gets the lad to the pillar? Beautiful there! Mike continues to fire around, Chris jumps in, won't just lay HP for the moment, but they are running away. The Sand Soldiers are just narrowly out of range. And they will take the tower.
LeQu, I'm just gonna give him style points for that TP flank right there into 4 members of Zero Tenacity with no flash available, no ult available. If I've ever seen an alpha move in my life, that was it.
It was something. I'm still trying to figure out if it was good or bad, but it was something for LeQu.
All right. I think we need to go back into keeping stock, because with all this fighting, everyone has a bunch of items completed. All but the supports mythic items are now locked and loaded into place. And the thing is that both of these teams can scale into the late game so well. If you look on the side of Zero Tenacity, you've got 3 melee champions, a Seraphine, and an Azir. That is so much zoning potential, so much survivability, so much healing and shielding that the Seraphine does later on, that technically this melee champion should never die. Add the subjugate on top of that, which makes Trundle even tankier. It's going to be so easy to keep a champion like him alive. On the other hand, you've got a Fiora that wants to snowball and play side lane, while the rest of your team is poking and chipping people away to the point where the Lee Sin or a Thresh Lantern can make that play to turn your Aphelios into a huge minigun and spray everyone down with the correct guns together with the Xerath ultimate. So we've got two completely sort of different compositions that both scale equally well into the late game, minus the fact that I feel like Camille will be much more useful in a fight than the Fiora, due to the fact that Meight and Mihai are on two heavily peeling champions, such as the Azir and the Seraphine.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is the Leandry's build here, is Escik. Been spotted out, great little pillar there. He doesn't have flash, he's charmed, he's locked up. And Meight gets in with the Sand Soldiers, nice and easy. Some of the Rift Herald, and let's crack open mid lane here as a response. They've got the members to do so. Might be a double charger because they've only got the one person about to defend, and that is definitely going to be the case. They might take two towers here. This could be incredibly rough for Illuminars. The Moonlight Vigil kind of just goes a little bit wide. Tower number 2 will collapse.
And with Overwatch and EU Masters, you guys got debated. This is an ARAM. This is what we do, but that was a pretty good move from the side of Zero Tenacity, using the fact that they saw Illuminar back. They're using the numbers advantage on the map. They popped down the Rift Herald. No one was there to defend because the Xerath was there, and that's the only long-range wave clear. Chris is on the flank right now, but there's not much he can do until the Xerath joins the fray.
Wojtus just walked threateningly at Charm and then missed the hook. I mean, it was a good flash by Charm, but like, sad times. We're just gonna go back, probably finish up his item as Mihai just gonna make sure he's catching the mid lane, and LeQu off in the side lane. So things are calming down somewhat here. Tiamat in the pocket of Mumus, so can speed up some of this side lane shoving. And actually, well, he just hasn't finished off his item because supports don't deserve money.
They don't. They're too OP. They don't deserve them.
Like, watch Wojtus' damage, and you'll be like, "Wow, here's no items." 2 items on ZAMULEK though, and he's got the "I'll fight you" guns. That's what I call this combo.
Yellow, white, and red.
Yeah, white and red, the murder guns.
Unfortunately for him, 2 minutes only until the next Infernal Dragon. So by that time, he might have disposed of one of the two. Yeah, exactly. Just don't hit anything until then, and keep your items, your guns.
Or farm so much that you cycle it back up in 2 minutes.
On the other hand, you'll see that Illumina have sole control of their own jungle. Everything has been warded. Together with the bot side river, they want to make sure that they secure this 3rd dragon and try to go for soul point. Aphelios with Infernal Soul is Aphelios ×2, because the second his ultimate explodes, it's gonna explode again, and it's gonna do such a huge pop where Seraphine is just not yet gonna be able to heal up fully.
Yeah, I mean, you do have sustain, like you said, but it's so hard to, sustain when you're dead.
Also, that's not necessarily the healing Seraphine. That's not a Moonstone Seraphine.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. It is the Andrew Seraphine, correct. Oh, Chris with the insect misses the kick bar, and the flay by Charm works the Charm. Mumus flashes over the wall, but the hook comes in. Charm is playing out of his mind on the Thresh.
Yeah, Chris right there. Questionable kick into the queue, but luckily for him, Charm is there to save the day, make sure to pin down Mumus. And again, the objective is that you need to get this Fiora so far ahead to the point where she becomes a threat, while you're wave clearing everything with your Xerath and your Aphelios, and maybe you can make sort of a play-making situation together with the Thresh and the Lee Sin on the other side of the map, while LeQu is unbeatable on a side lane. He's not at that point yet, because he needs to call in his jungle and his support to assist, but at this point you see that at least Illumina are not losing anything on the other side of the map, because the only thing they have to lose is their bot lane tier 2, and Z10 have not yet gone there.
20 minutes in, and Dragon spawning up. It is actually Tenacity who have the inside on it, but they got the teleport
Fiora coming in.
Chris being caught out. Momus tries to jump in forward. There's the Graviton onto 3. Big Moonlight Vigil. And Wojtus has to flash out instantly. LeQu able to find himself the hill. He loses a lot of health. The charm is blocked out, but it does land onto the backline. Not going to mean much as Chris gets the kick. Ryuzaki flashes away, and the Lantern bails Chris out. It's a 1 for none for Illuminar.
Okay, but Charm has been playing out of his damn mind in this game. The hooks, the lanterns, the flays, the fact that he was there every time his mid laner needed him, even if his mid laner is 0-10, doesn't matter. Charm was there to try and help the situation. And I feel like that Thresh pick really does suit him. Illumina come out with Soul Point, and again, this fight right here, they catch Chris a little bit off guard, and they use both the pillar and the dive in from Mumus and the root from Seraphine to the point that they're too far away from the fight because they were focusing on Chris. Then the Nautilus goes in, that he gets taunted. The Seraphine ultimate doesn't hit anyone, which means go button for Chris. Kicks in Ryuzaki, which has to flash out, which means that the contention ends there for the side of Zero Tenacity, and that's a pretty free dragon for the side of Illumina. You see top side of the map, we mentioned this is the side of the map that needs to get ahead for Illumina, and they are 4 and 1 for that Fiora. Almost second item completed, 4, 2 and 5 for Chris, and that's a pretty chair, but I think Chris also has 2 items completed.
Sitting pretty right now for Chris. 2 items done. Nice and strong. And I just, unfortunately, I think 0-10 are now starting to approach the position which Illuminar were in the last game. It's not quite as lost as Mumus actually did a pretty good job to win this fight versus LeQu. Does have the ultimate to buy space, keeps himself locked up as he finds the shutdown. And I think I might have cast a curse that somewhat, but maybe I didn't, because the Illuminar inside the pit, a good encore could genuinely really upset the apple cart here. They're going to throw out the ultimate from xCharm. His hooks have been beautiful so far. Mihai looking to try and find himself the encore. Chris going very low as the Baron's been picked up. And the flank is on Mihai. Can he find that encore? Can he find it? Wojtus is coming in. Z10 going down, 2-man encore. He can find this. Charm has no one to land, and as he blocks going to safety, they're going to interrupt Chris on the reset, and he will lose his life. Shut down, picked up, and just like that, he's out. LeQu with the escape.
Oh, they had absolutely nowhere to go because they were getting flanked from their own jungle. And remember, we said LeQu needs to be strong enough to be a nuisance in the side lane to attract as many members from Zero Tenacity as possible, so Illumina can get something on the other side of the map or playmate with their abilities on the Thresh and the Lee Sin. But right now, they're being flanked from their own jungle. They have nowhere to go, no land to stay in. Mumus rejoined the fight. Everyone managed to rejoin the fight because it took so long for that Baron to go down. And not only that, but that pillar was just a nail in the coffin right there for Illumina, and they end up with 0 Baron buffs.
I'd like to intervene and say that I'm a moron. For some reason, I thought it was LeQu getting away. It was Charm dying. My bad. apparently I have no eyes. 25 minutes on the clock. Baron power play, completely redundant because unfortunately he might stopwatch. He's gonna get hooked. Oh, just when you think you got away with it, Charm's there.
I mean, let's be honest. Charm has been bailing out Escik the entire game.
Oh my lord, what? Holy moly, great riposte though, and now Mumus has to flash away. He has no backup. But he has a whole lot of hurt coming his way. Chris finds the shutdown.
I think the happy bee right there from LeQu was also like some sort of revenge emote because Mumus brought his teammates in the previous 1v1, and this time LeQu brings his own teammate on this 1v1. And I want to see where this whole thing started from. Oh my god, meight takes a huge chunk from LeQu. And then was it just ultimates?
I think it was. I mean, there's nothing else to him.
Oh, the pink ward shows where meight is on the map, and he has to either blow his flash on the last shot, or blow the hourglass. But at least right there, I think it's not worth it popping the hourglass because you're dying to the Thresh anyway, and there's nothing that Illumina can get further from that because the dragon was more than a minute away at this point. So yes, you end up dying. Yes, you end up dying to the Thresh. It's not the worst of these scenarios. 30 seconds though. Zero Tenacity have to walk into that river right now, start putting down the vision towards Illuminar's jungle, and make sure that they disrupt this soul, because Infernal is going to hurt so much with poking champions such as Xerath and with Inferno? I think it's called Infernum. There you go.
The fresh but charm. We got to check his computer because he is landing way too many hooks. Look at that right to the arcane, ripping through the health bars. Z10 are already way too low to fight. It's going to have to be one hell of an encore. And it flopped. That album ain't going platinum. As down goes mihai, might been hunted by Chris. Chris doesn't even care.
Okay.
So he wants kills.
I thought the only poking champion right here is the Xerath. I was so damn wrong, because when Aphelios has his sniper rifle, he is a poke champion as well. Him and Xerath were literally standing so far away from Zero Tenacity, yet they were able to put down so much damage. All eyes on ZAMULEK and Escik, because Zero Tenacity have the right idea right there, but Charm ends their chances by gripping the Nautilus away from there. And again, look at the Xerath damage together with the Aphelios onto the sniper. He just hits one and the chakrams keep going. There's just so much damage from so much distance. You don't even see them, and they're killing you. There's no reaction. There's nothing Zero Tenacity can do at this point. You don't even see the two carries, and they're killing you.
It's terrifying when you've got the sniper on the Aphelios. The range, plus, like you said, with the Xerath, just so hard to handle. And now, Death Cap almost finished up for Escik. Almost level 16 as well, halfway there. And with an Infernal Soul, you thought he was hitting hard. You thought he was hitting hard a minute ago. He's about to be hitting unbelievably hard. I think he's actually trying to finish up his Death Cap as he clears out a quick Wolf Camp. And Z10 looking for a potential kill, but LeQu paying respect.
Could we take a peek on how close he is to his Death Cap? He needs 1.1. Oh, he's in debt.
Oh, he's miles away.
He's in debt.
He was paying his debt off.
Yeah. Not close to the Death Cap. Thank you so much, observers. You rock. Alright, so this is best case scenario when you have the Infernal Soul, because you can take the entire control of the top side jungle for Ryuzaki. You can set down your vision and try to create a play again with your Fiora. Try to drag as many members of Zero Tenacity as possible, trying to stop LeQu on his split push, and then try to go for that Baron. Baron plus a split push of Fiora, plus a lot of poke and siege potential with the Xerath and the Aphelios, could potentially seal the deal right here for Illumina.
Honestly, what I'm really enjoying is just watching everybody hold a lantern, hold stuff so they can get away, as mihai throws out the encore for the right to the arcane, almost taking him down. Now Mumus is coming in. The fight is on. Look at the damage from these two snipers. The Graviton will lock them down already, and LeQu guts himself to kill. Another hook from Charm to shuffle back to safety. LeQu rooted in place as Mumus is looking for the kill. Oh my word, that damage is absolutely crazy. Mumus able to secure the kill, but here comes the backup. mihai trying to dance around all of the poke, all of the Qs, but the hook is going to land, and Chris is on a killing spree. Illuminar are just running over Zero Tenacity in this game.
Here's another fight that goes to the side of Illumina, and I feel like LeQu came out clutch in this one. Escik again in trouble. Who's the one saving him? It is Charm. Who's the one taking the hook for him? It is Charm. Who's the one returning and making the plays? It is Charm on this Thresh, saving the Xerath, and the Xerath returns the poke, and once they're all stuck in this choke point, you're expecting a huge Seraphine ultimate, but she cannot approach because she's been poked out by the Xerath. And once everyone is really low, LeQu just dives in and dispatches of everyone. That is a 3-for-1. Illumina can walk into the top side river, take the Baron as well, and now they can start sieging with the split push potential 1 and 4.
And this time, Illumina get out with the Baron. This time, they can look to use that to open up this game and probably put an end to it. And unfortunately, an end to Z10's run here in the European Masters. They are looking at going 0-6. Now, we did talk about it earlier, but they have had a hard group. And honestly, they've had a pretty good performance, all things considered. DBL, you know, not one of the major regions. We haven't, you know, had a particularly great performance from them for a little while. They have had a couple of kind of highlight tournaments here and there. But I think, honestly, Z10 can walk away happy, even if they lose this game, because great little flash there.
Oh my word!
Oh no! Chris able to find the kill. The insect's out, the lantern's out, and ZAMULEK able to find himself 2 kills. Z10 are melting right now as the tower is going to go down. LeQu off in the side lane. Mighty to cook as he does able to get away to safety. Lantern on as someone is attacking the tower. 4 in the pillar interrupts him, but he's able to safeguard the safety. Illuminar looking to close this game out here. It is so hard for Z10 to hold. You have an Azir, sure, but you're sieging into Baron, and those Qs just chunking meight out. He has to go back and heal. And I just don't think he can do so. Not enough time on the clock for them to get themselves into a point of relevance. Illuminar's health is low. The tower going to be doing a bit of work, but Illuminar just having a little bit of fun, the closest one out. They do get the 5-man charm off, and it's a fair amount of damage as LeQu not even going to go down. 31 minutes on the clock, and Illuminar close out the group stages with a win.
We thought this was going to be a not so fun game due to the nature of all the scaling champions, the Aphelios, the Seraphines, the Azirs. Technically want to fight at the 30-minute mark with 3 to 4 items each, but it was a bloodthirsty game from minute 2 or 3. And at the end of the day, it's going to be big. It's going to be not big. Illumina coming out ahead and ending their groups here with a 3-3 record, which I feel like they should be really proud of. Again, that was the last time we've seen these 2 teams in the tournament. Both Illumina and Tenacity are making their last run here for the CU Masters. But it was such a great game, and I love seeing the Fiora versus the Camille, which we never actually ended up seeing the true, you know, 1v1 potential that we wanted to see from the start.
There was never a 1v1 in that game.
It started, but always someone was creeping about, so...
A lot of roaming, a lot of action, a lot of blood. That is the best way to sum that game up. We will talk a little bit more about that game, but we're going to throw to a quick break and then focus our attention towards that final game of the day. See you in a moment.
He's going to flash in, and he steals the Baron! How did that connect by Edgeway? Fini! As EU Masters Champions!
the Amazon EU Masters. That last game, you know, unfortunately didn't mean too much, but it was at the end of the day a very fun one to round out for Zero Tenacity and Illuminar. I kind of was trying to set the point up, but the game was such a bloodbath. I want to give a big shout out to 010. They were in a rough group, and honestly, I don't think they deserved to go 0-6. I think they genuinely showed up pretty well in a bunch of their games.
Okay, Hiprain, listen. We had this conversation the other day with Will. They're like, I don't remember which team, from which group. It was from the first day of the group roundups.
God, you're asking a lot from me there.
Yeah. Anyway, and he was like, they went 0-6, and like they didn't deserve it. And I'm like, if you don't hit the Nexus, you don't deserve the win. And unfortunately,
I mean, that is the way. That is solid advice.
Yeah.
If you hit the Nexus, you win the game.
Yeah. If you don't, you just don't deserve a win. So unfortunately, Zero Tenacity didn't manage to get to the Nexus to hit it. But all in all, I felt like they had a pretty good composition right here. The only difference is that we thought that the Seraphine was going to be able to sustain all the damage thrown by the Aphelios when he had his sniper, and by the Xerath when he was throwing all these long-range abilities out. But this is a full damage Seraphine. I'm pretty sure that the W is going to be maxed 3rd, which is last.
Yeah.
And without the Moonstone, it doesn't heal extra either. So this was a little bit of a problem right there, because the second mihai was being hit by even one R from the Xerath. It was pretty much a done deal. He couldn't get anywhere near, like you see right here, he's like 1 HP. He cannot get anywhere near his melees, which are the ones that need the assistance from the shields and from the speed ups. So it just wasn't possible. And the second they were getting taken apart from each other, the composition could no longer play on the front to back with the Azir and the Seraphine.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, it was Illuminar who do close out with a win. It took a little while for them to ramp up. You can see that power spike just the gold lead slowly curving off. And I mean, 25, there was only 200 damage between the Xerath and the Fiora this game. That's I don't think I've ever seen that. That was crazy.
Aphelios doing
really good game.
Doing bottom damage in his team. Like, he wasn't even needed. We didn't see much of the bot lane. We didn't see much of the Aphelios. I felt like the whole sort of action was going on around the Xerath, trying to kill the Xerath, trying to take him out. Every time Zero Tenacity were able to kill the Xerath off of the map, they were able to sort of get some vision, get the towers. They had the snowball in the mid where they pop out the Rift Herald and they take tier 1 and tier 2, and then they just could not move further from that. They could not make the picks work. And I think if I had to highlight a player in this best of 1 that we just watched, it had to be xCharm on the Thresh. He was so instrumental on Illuminar's win. He was getting Xerath out of trouble the entire time. He was taking hooks from him. He was returning the hooks to make the plays. His lanterns were on point, so clutch. I feel like xCharm on Thresh, 10 out of 10.
Well, it feels like today has been rising towards this one big moment. We're going to be going to a break, and when we're back with Fnatic Rising versus Big. This is the fight for first. We'll see you in a moment.
He's gonna flash in, and he steals the bomb! How did that connect by injury?
Fini! As EU Masters Champions!